I don't know about you guys, but I didn't sleep too much last night. I was still trying to figure out how on earth we won that game. Now, I'll take it. I'm over the moon with it. But I'm still trying to figure out exactly how on earth Liverpool won that game yesterday. And you know what? We could probably replay that game 100 times and never figure out a way to win it. But cometh the hour, cometh the Darwin. And that's why I'm late. I was out in the back garden building my Darwin statue, and it took a little bit of time, more than I thought. So that's why I'm a minute or two late tonight. Good recovery yesterday, excellent win, but reinforcement still needed. Well, as you can see, look at the yellow bar on the bottom of the screen. We have added a transfer window countdown clock. And yes, tick-tock, John. Tick-tock. Where's the money? Because I don't know about you guys. We can't allow yesterday gloss over the deficiencies in our squad. We can celebrate it, and we will. We can gloat about it, and we will. We can tell their assistant manager Tyndall to go fuck himself, and we will. But most importantly, we do need to get in signings, right? We need to bring in a centre-back. We need to bring in a central midfielder before the window slams shut. This video is sponsored by Manscaped, the best in men's grooming. Manscaped is known for their elite bald skills, a little bit like myself. But with the beard hedger, they're helping people notice that pretty face too. Our friends at Manscaped are now focusing on their off-the-ball movement with their Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The Beard Hedger face trimmer is a waterproof, cordless trimmer which has 20 hair cutting lengths, all with just one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. The trimmer has a titanium coated T-blade which is tough on hair but smooth on your face. Just because Manscaped have moved away from the groin doesn't mean they've lost track of the ball, unlike Joe Gomez. They still have the Lawnmower 4.0, the best hygiene tool to help you keep the grass on the pitch the perfect length. The Lawnmower 4.0's ceramic blade reduces cuts and nicks in your most sensitive areas. Unlike me, the trimmer's battery lasts 90 minutes, meaning you could shave your nether regions the length of an entire match if you wanted. You can get a wide range of packages and products at manscaped.com. What's more, you can get 20% off and free delivery using our code Anfield20 at manscaped.com. Celebrate the new season of the beautiful game with your newly beautiful balls and face. I don't know why they say newly beautiful. My face is always beautiful. Look at it. It's amazing. Quick question for anybody in the chat. Does anybody know what time Salah's having his medical at in Dubai today? Because according to all those big-mouthed Saudi accounts, that was his last game yesterday. He was travelling to Dubai today to complete a medical, was he not? Where's the medical, dickheads? Oh, that's right. You're talking out your backside again. Yeah, lots of this, not enough of this. Where are they all? Where are all of you journalists in that part of the world that were telling us that Mohamed Salah is going to be in Dubai today having a medical? How do you like the apples, dudes? How do you like the apples? They taste a little bit bitter, do they? You lying fucks. He's not going anywhere unless you pony up a lot more dough. And it will take a lot more dough than the measly 100 million that we're seeing mentioned. 100 million doesn't buy you Mohamed Salah's left boot. If you really want them, Saudi, stop being cheap. Maybe you've been hanging around with John too much. If you want Mo, you're going to have to pay serious wage, or if not, continue on with your tin pot league, and we'll continue on watching Mohamed Salah do his thing in the greatest league in world football, which definitely is not the Saudi Pro League. But I wouldn't rule out another offer coming in before the window closes. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you wholeheartedly, I know for a fact Salah isn't going anywhere, but I can sit here and tell you wholeheartedly that they were talking out their backsides about that medical in Dubai. Send it to the island. Will we send it to the island? Will we send that Mohamed Salah Dubai medical a little over, what was that you say? Where is it? It's just off the coast of France. We finally found it. El Bullshit Islando, off the coast of France. So off you go. A hula hula hula, a hula hula. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them. They've no respect. Sick of them. Oh, and speaking of no respect, Tyndall, you twat. Oh, Tyndall, shh. How do you like those apples, Tyndall? Ha? 2-1 at your own gaff with 10 men. Oh, it was just beautiful, lads. I could watch that game back yesterday over and over and over again. It was all kinds of glorious. And do you know what? Do you know what was the difference maker in that game? There's two things that happened against Newcastle yesterday. That's the reason why we won that game. Number one, the gobshite took off Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon was absolutely roasting Trent and was having a great game yesterday. And he took him off because he was being so passive that it played into our hands. And I can't believe Eddie Howe did that. He had 60 minutes to score a second goal against 10 men. And he takes off the one player that was really ripping us apart. It was like a godsend. Liverpool's confidence then grew. Jurgen Klopp's substitutions were absolutely immense yesterday. I won't lie to you, when he was making them, hadn't got a Scooby-Doo what he was doing. Hadn't got a clue why he was setting people up, where he was sending the lads to play. But Jota, Elliott, they came on. They were brilliant. And of course, Darwin Núñez, well, Darwin Núñez spoke for himself yesterday. Absolutely arrowed one into the bottom corner past Nick Pope. And he wasn't satisfied with that. He wasn't satisfied with telling the Newcastle faithful to shut up once. He had to do it twice. And I don't know about you, but as soon as he got put through for the second one, I knew only too well where it was going. Back of the net. Because Darwin's a confident player. And you could see yesterday his confidence was soaring. So, yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Great finish as well. And delighted for Darwin. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano has said, Al Ittihad have a short list of defenders. Liverpool's Joe Gomez is very high on that list. Al Ittihad like Gomez as a versatile player who can play anywhere across the back line. Liverpool is insistent, no intention to sell, very important player, blah blah blah. Here, come here to me, Al Ittihad. Stop it. Stop it now. You're like that. You're like the Todd Bowley of football clubs. Stop it. You can't afford Joe. You can't afford Mo. Stop it. You can't have everything you want, lads. Trust me, you're not having them. So, what do you want to start off with tonight? Do we want to even entertain this nonsense from Al Ittihad about Joe Gomez? I mean, we can discuss it if you want, but ultimately, we all know that Al Ittihad at this point are all fur coat and no knickers. You know, they're all this. That's all they are, just mouthpieces. If you want Mohamed Salah, dig deep, bitches, or you're not getting them. 75 million for Gomez. Look, on the Gomez stuff, at the start of the window, biting your hand off for a big offer for Joe Gomez. But anybody coming in now, they're just taking the piss. Because we need a defender, not to get rid of one. I don't know if Al Ittihad are not paying attention, but right now Liverpool have two centre-backs not available for next week's game against Aston Villa. And they're Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. And we need Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez, Joe Matip, Jarrell Kwanzaa need to all be available and fit because, well, we've got nobody else at the minute. And therein lies a big problem. And if this doesn't wake up John W. Henry and those spoofers at FSG to the fact that we are already walking a tightrope for availability, I don't know what will. Apparently they didn't learn their lessons the season where we had to bring in Ozan Kabak and Ben Davies. Apparently they didn't learn their lesson last season when we didn't bring in a midfielder and we were exposed there. And now we're only into the fourth game of the season coming up against Villa. And already because of suspension and an injury, we're down to the bare bones. So in what world do we not need a centre-back? I've seen lots of stuff today in the media and all of it talking about a midfielder. And all of it then leading on to say that maybe Liverpool will look to address the defensive crisis in another window. It needs to be done now. In fact, it needed to be done back at the start of the window. The fact that it's dragged on this long is an indictment of John W. Henry yet again. Liverpool can't afford to be selling any defenders right now. We need to be buying defenders right now. So, tick-tock, John. 4 days, 2 hours, 17 minutes, 22 seconds. And we know you have the money, you cheap clown, because you tried to give it to Todd Bowley, remember? But they didn't want your money, John. No, you didn't. You tried to give it to Brighton, for a player that Todd Bowley bullied you on. My apologies there, John. I forgot you were cuckolded by a different male, mate. Sorry, my apologies. I'm going to say we need a centre-back more than we need a midfielder at this point. If you look at midfield and our options, the four attacking midfield players that we have can cover the two positions. So you've got Elliott, you've got Jones, you've got Szoboszlai, and you've got Gakpo. Szoboszlai and McAllister. And Gakpo can also drop in and play there. The number 6 position, we've got Endo and we've got Bajcetic. Bajcetic can also be used in a different way. I would argue that with Thiago as well, we've got enough there at a push if we're only scrambling for one more signing. But we are short defensively in a massive way. And we're already exposed there because Van Dijk has 1 game suspension. That might go higher. They feel like him not leaving the pitch or what he said to the referee was over the top. then we could see Virgil van Dijk get an extra game on his suspension. So what we know right now is that Ibrahima Konate is out until after the international break. So he should be back for the Wolves game. Virg, as we sit here, yes, we think he's back for the Wolves game. But if that suspension is added to because of his reluctance to leave the pitch after his red card, I couldn't argue against it. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't. You can make an argument as to him not being sent off, but I couldn't put up an argument if he does get it added to a 2-game ban. I couldn't, because he didn't leave the pitch, and he was being a little bit, I don't want to say he was gobby because I don't know what he was saying, but there would be sufficient grounds for it to be a potential 2-game ban for me. I think we're okay in midfield, but a centre-back is a must, said Colin. I'm the same. I think a centre-back is definitely a must. And if this doesn't show our owners that it's a must, with the fact that we're now down to the bare bones already. Now look, Jarrell Kwanzaa, I think he played very well when he came on. And that's to his own credit, and of course to Jurgen's credit for trusting him. So well done to Jarrod on that. I think Jarrell was an amazing breakthrough in this pre-season. But again, it's asking a lot if Virg picked up an injury or Konate's out again to expect Matip, Gomez and Jarrell Kwanzaa to come in and get us through whatever that period of time is, because I'm still not sold on Matip and Gomez. Although, fair play to both lads yesterday, they were a lot better than they were in pre-season. Endo can play centre-back and Stefan and CDM for Villa, said Lloydie. I mean, it's a possibility. It is, mate. I'm very intrigued to see what way Jurgen Klopp does go, Lloydie, with the centre-back selections for the game against Aston Villa. Did you guys see the link to Jarrod Bowen for a potential Mohamed Salah replacement? I want to see what your response is in the chat to this. So just going to end this poll now, but basically 38% of you guys think 0 signings, 31% 2 more signings, and 29% 1 more signing. I'm going to ask you now about Jarrod Bowen. It's a weird one for me. I would lean to no, but I do rate Jarrod Bowen, and that's why I say it's a weird one for me, because I think he's an underappreciated player, and I think he's better than a lot of people give him credit for. But I don't know if I take him for a Mohamed Salah replacement, because I don't think he has enough pace. Colin said, you and I were talking about Bowen yesterday. I like Bowen. I rate Bowen. That goal that he scored against Brighton was one hell of a finish as well, at the pace he was going at. Does that mean El Ittihad are going to have to come in now and give us, 250 million before the window closes for Joe Gomez and Mohamed Salah? Like, is there a number you guys would sell Mo in this window? I have a number. I won't lie to you. I have a number if he wants to go. Now, if Mo doesn't want to go, and Mo has told Jurgen that he's no intention of going, then there isn't a number. But if Mo's interested, I have a number that I'd sell him for. I would sell Mo if it was earlier in the window and if there was a good amount of right wings on the market. So, right, let's tackle that, Costello Drums, and thank you for your super chat, mate. So let's tackle the Mohamed Salah situation for a moment. 150 is my number, by the way. That's what I'd sell Mo for. And I'm going to say something next that I don't think many of you will agree with me on. I wouldn't replace him in this window. If Mo was sold tomorrow, I wouldn't look to replace him before the end of the window, because I think with a little tweak of system, maybe pushing Ben Doak into the first team setup a little bit more, I think we could cope, because we have 4 good versatile forwards at the club, and we're just going to be fleeced if we try to replace them. So I would like to see Liverpool sit on it and then do something either next summer or in January. And not even necessarily a like-for-like replacement. Maybe something a little bit clever. Something maybe down the Joe Felix type of route. Yeah. So I just wouldn't sell. I wouldn't replace him in this window if we sold him. We should replace him in 2 years and get Elise, said Titan. Does anybody know if there is a buyout clause in Elise's new Crystal Palace deal? I've not read about it. I've read that obviously he's signed one, but I don't know what the... Sorry, I'm laughing at the question. Are you on glue? No, I'm not on glue, mate, but I've already given you my reasoning why I wouldn't replace him, because we'd end up getting fleeced. I don't want to panic buy for such an important player we've potentially had to replace. Now, Let me just cast your mind back to when we lost Felipe Coutinho before you all think I'm losing my damn mind. Remember when we lost Coutinho, what happened? People stepped up. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in particular stepped up. And my theory behind that is, when you've got somebody like Mohamed Salah, or you had somebody at that time like Felipe Coutinho, and I've mentioned this about Spurs and Harry Kane as well, so I'm not just thinking out my backside here. I think it's easy to think to yourself, give him the ball, give it to Mo, or give it to Coutinho, or give it to Kane, and hope that they deliver the moment of magic. I think if Salah was to depart, which I don't want to happen, I think we would see other people grow into the roles at the club and step up. I'm not saying we never need to replace him, but I'm saying I think we could be more clever about doing it than trying to rush through something, unless a very good opportunity came up, somebody that, you know, the club wanted in a year's time but could move for now. In that case, by all means. But as I said that Spurs should sell Harry Kane because I think it will get other players at Spurs to step up and take that role. Same when Coutinho left. I didn't say it when Coutinho left. I was furious when Coutinho left and I thought we were screwed. But the reaction from the rest of the group was very impressive. So yeah, that was my thought process. Not because I don't think Salah would lose us a load of goals if he went. Of course it would. It's Mohamed Salah. We've seen people step up before, and sometimes you get a nice pleasant surprise. And to be fair to Oxlade-Chamberlain, that ACL at that time against Roma, it was crushing for his career at Liverpool because he was on a hot streak then. He was playing probably the best in his career. And that only happened because Coutinho moved. Forwards don't always have to invert. Núñez doesn't score if he's going down the left yesterday. Núñez might be Salah's replacement, said Bugger Stay Salty. I'll take your word for your name. Yeah, look, there is this modern trend, isn't there, of wingers inverting. And it's weird. If you're having a centre forward like Darwin, you'd nearly want your wingers to go around the outside to get those crosses in to give Darwin something to fight for. So I'm with you in that regard. It's something that I think people get too caught up on. Oh, well, our right winger has to be a left footer. Not necessarily. Saigon said, we'll have to pay out through our hole for anybody late in the window. I agree, if Salah goes, give the lads a chance until January. It's how time moves on. That's what I was going with it, mate. Exactly as you've said. Like, if we did it now, we'd end up basically just spending whatever we got for Salah on I don't know, pick a player. Let's say it was, oh Jesus, I don't know. Let's say we went for Nico Williams from Bilbao. You're going to end up having to spend basically what you got for Salah because it's so late in the window, and any selling club would have a very good point to go, are you mad? You want us to sell one of our best players this late in the window because you got shafted by Saudi? So yeah, that's why I said I wouldn't replace him in this window. What about Trent in the right wing position if Salah left? It's not, like somebody mentioned it the other day, Liam, and it's not the worst show, because imagine the crosses Trent could put in from that wide area. And Trent could also cut inside and shoot. So, you know what, mate? It isn't the worst show. I'd feel far more comfortable with Trent doing that than playing in central midfield. But maybe I'm deluded. I don't know. Szoboszlai's natural position is right winger. He and Ben can share the position. Then get to Corey and Thuram now on a centre-back. Yeah, Szoboszlai can absolutely play on the right, mate, as you've correctly said. I think we had this conversation when we signed Szoboszlai. People were talking about who will fill in for Mo in the AFCON when he's away. And I think I said at the time it'll be a mixture of, exactly as you've said, Ben Doak and Szoboszlai. The Corey looks like it will be very, very, very expensive at this moment in time. Doesn't mean it can't be done. But for a club that have been praised for how we do our transfer business, again, I'm going to say this has been the height of stupidity. Because we are now, what have we got? 4 days, 1 hour, 36 minutes and 24 seconds until the window slams shut. And anybody is going to be inflated in price now. Anybody. Do I think Darwin will be better than Haaland? Probably not, but if he's even 70% as good, that'll be amazing. He's a very different type of player to Haaland. Like, he's got more attributes to his game than Haaland has. But Haaland is far more clinical than Darwin is. But Darwin can do a lot more for the team than Haaland does for City. And Schmadtke should be given the P45 immediately. Let's not even discuss this lad staying on past the end of the window. He should be gone. And we should get a new sporting director in. Because I don't know what the fuck old Georgie Porgy Pudding and Pie has been doing other than trigger and release clauses and going in for a player Klopp knew about already in Endo, who would have crawled over broken glass, that you or I could have made that deal. Again, where's the succession planning? I feel like the owners have just lost interest to some extent in anything other than the bottom line. Like, if they see Liverpool continuing to grow in value and getting away with what they're doing, I don't think they're going to give a shit, because they don't give a shit about the Red Sox, and that's their home club. And they're not really doing anything to try and keep them competitive, are they? So if they're in expansion mode and they want to start buying up other assets, it's just going to make us an even bigger afterthought, I guess. Would you let Gomez go to Saudi for money? Yeah, I would. Because I believe more in Kwanzaa already than I do in Joe. And it's not hard to find centre-backs. So, look, probably replacing them before the window closes would be a push. But let's say we got Joe Gomez money and we could go out there and buy Hincapia or somebody else. Yes, do it without a shadow of a doubt. Because I can't imagine Gomez being a regular starter for us again. I don't see it. He goes through too many phases of really good performances and then reminders of why he switches off sometimes, or he's very unfortunate with injuries. So yeah, for big money I would sell Joe Gomez. Said before this season, make or break for Gomez. He's 26 now. I just don't see the make. Sometimes I just feel like players' careers are run at certain clubs, and I think Joe's grand to have around, don't get me wrong. I'm not certainly looking to sell Joe Gomez, but, you know, a big money offer, if it was a big money offer, I mean, I'd take it.